Hello, YouTube. This is Mr. Bakari, and today we are going to graph transformations of exponential functions. So let's get started. All right, we've got f of x equals b to the x. That is our parent function. Okay. All exponential parent functions fall into two categories: growth, which you see on the left, and decay, which you see on the right. Okay. If the base b is greater than 1, the function increases. That's exponential growth. And if b is between 0 and 1, the function decreases. That's exponential decay. Now, something to consider, changing the base of an exponential function does not create a transformation, it creates a different parent function. While all exponential graphs share the same general shape, each base produces its own parent graph with a different rate of change. Okay? So that is something to consider, something that is unique to exponential functions and logarithmic functions. All right, I've got a table up here. You can see that my inputs are -1, 0, and 1. Those are the inputs I will be using. They are a great representation and will ensure that our points fit on these graphs. Very easy to evaluate as well. All right. Now, domain. Exponential functions accept every real number as input, so their domain is all real numbers. Now, when it comes to range, an exponential function can never equal 0 because b to the x is always positive. So there's no exponent you can raise a positive base to that will produce 0. So hence we have an asymptote at y equals 0. All exponential functions have horizontal asymptotes. Okay. All right. So these are our parent graphs. And this is where we start. Now we're going to do three examples of transformations. So let's get started on that. All right. So first, I want to establish what is my parent graph here. Well, my base is 4, and it is an exponential. So I've got y equals 4 to the x. Now, if I complete my table here and plug in a -1, I'm going to get 1/4. If I plug in a 0, I'm going to get 1. And if I plug in a 1, I'm going to get a 4. All right. So that's my parent function table. And now I'm going to apply my transformations. Now, inside the function affects x. Okay. So looking up here in parentheses, inside the function affects x. That's horizontal change. So we're going to apply that to our x's. And then outside the function, these affect y. That's vertical change, so we're going to apply those to our y values. All right, so what I like to do is at the top here, I'm going to write what I'm going to do to my x table here. I'm going to subtract 2. So remember, you do the opposite inside the function. I'm going to subtract 2. And with my y values, I'm going to multiply by 2 and then subtract 3. So order of operations is very important here. You must multiply before you add or subtract. Okay? So looking over these, this is a vertical stretch by a factor of 2, a shift left 2, and a shift down 3. Okay, it's always important when you're done graphing to then go back, go over those transformations, and make sure that your graph reflects what you've got written down. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to apply these rules. So I'm going to take my x's and I'm going to subtract 2. So -1 minus 2 is -3. 0 minus 2 is -2. 1 minus 2 is -1. Okay, come over to my y values. I'm going to take 1/4 of 2, which is 1/2, minus 3, which is -2.5. And then I'm going to take 1 times 2 minus 3, which is -1. And then I'm going to take 4 times 2, which is 8, minus 3, which is 5. So in blue here, I've got my transformed points. Now I will transfer them over to my graph. All right. So I've got -3, -2.5, -2, -1, and -1, 5. All right, now my horizontal asymptote will only move if I have a vertical shift. So looking over here at my function, I do have a vertical shift down 3. So I'm going to go ahead and shift that down 3. And now I can see the outline of my curve. So we're going to go ahead and connect the dots here. And there is my graph. Okay. So the domain is always going to be all real numbers for all of these. Now the range has changed because the graph has shifted down to -3. So our range is -3 to infinity. All right. Okay. Now let's look at the next example. All right. So this parent function will be y equals the base 1/3 raised to the x. So I will go ahead and complete my table here. Plug in a -1 for x, and I get 3. Plug in a 0, and I get 1. Plug in a 1, and I get 1/3. All right, looking at the transformations, very important here. If you look up here, you will see if there is more than one term inside parentheses and the coefficient of x is not 1, we need to factor it out so we can clearly see the transformations. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right above here. I'm going to factor out the -1. And now I can clearly see my horizontal transformations there. Okay, so I'm going to apply these to my x's, and I'm going to apply +2 to my y. So inside applies to x, outside applies to y. All right, so again, I'm going to multiply negative, and I'm going to add 1 to my x's. And then with my y's, I'm going to simply add 2. Okay? So I'm going to take the opposite of -1, add 1, get 2. 0 plus 1 is 1. Take the opposite of 1 plus 1 is 0. All right? Now 3 plus 2 is 5. 1 plus 2 is 3. 1/3 plus 2 is 2 and 1/3. So again, in blue here, I've got my transformed points. I will transfer them over to the graph. I've got 2, 5, 1, 3, and 0, 2 1/3. All right, now looking back at my function, I can see that this has been shifted up 2. So I need to shift my horizontal asymptote up 2. All right, now I'll connect my points here. And there is my graph. Okay, domain, of course, all real numbers. And the range, the graph's been shifted up 2, goes from 2 to infinity. All right. All right, now for our last example. Now here we have a base E. E is a number that's approximately 2.718. Approximately. This is a irrational number. And it shows up whenever something's changing continuously. Like you'll see this in formulas for radioactive decay, compound interest, things like that. Okay. So for this video and what I do with my students is we're just going to round to the nearest tenths, keep the math somewhat simple. So I'm going to fill out my table, but first establish that my parent function is y equals e to the x. All right. So if we plug in a -1, we get 1 over e, which is approximately zero point 0.4, rounding to the tenths. E to the 0 is 1, And e to the 1 is simply e, which we will round to 2.7. Okay? All right. Now, looking at my transformations, I have nothing up here inside the function. So there's no horizontal transformation because the input's just x. Okay? So outside the function, I've got this negative 1 out in front and minus 3. So we have a reflection over the x-axis and a shift down 3. Okay? These both apply to our y. Okay, so I'm going to write the top. I'm going to multiply by negative 1 and subtract 3. All right, so if I take point 0.4, take the opposite, subtract 3, I have negative 3.4. Take the opposite of 1, subtract 3, I have negative 4. Opposite of 2.7 minus 3 is negative 5.7. Okay? And of course, nothing happened with x. So I'm going to take these points, transfer them over to the graph. I've got negative 1, negative 3.4, 0, negative 4, and 1, negative 5.7. Looking at my function, the graph has been shifted down 3, so I'll move my asymptote down 3, and I will connect my points. And there is my transformed graph. Okay, the domain, all real numbers. That means negative infinity to positive infinity. And the range here is from negative infinity to 3. Okay, so that's where our asymptote's at. And we are finished. Okay, so I hope this helps you out in graphing transformations of exponential functions, and I will see you in the next video.